Today's topic is Forex pairs. What are the best Forex pairs to trade for beginners? And to find that answer, we first need to understand Forex sessions. There are 4 sessions in total called Sydney, Tokyo, London, and New York. Some people ignore the Sydney session and simply call all of this the Asian session, simply because there's not a big time difference between the 2 sessions. So trading sessions is important to understand because everyone lives in a different time zone. For example, a trader from Asia will have a hard time trading the London and New York sessions because it's going to be really early in the morning. They might be sleeping, they might have work tomorrow. And vice versa, someone from Europe will have a hard time trading the Asian session because it's going to be really late at night, maybe 1 or 2 a.m. And that's why the best currency pair will always depend person to person. Now, for example, if we live somewhere in the Asian session, we mainly want to be focusing on the Japanese yen currency pair and the Australian dollar, simply because the Asian market session is Japanese yen or AUD dominant, right? None of the other currencies are actively traded at that time. So to give you an example, this is Euro US dollar, and as we can see, there's not much activity in the Tokyo and Sydney session. But why? Because Euro and US dollar is not traded at that time. But if we take a look at USD Japanese yen, which means the Japanese yen is one of the currency pairs that is actively traded, we can straight away see there's activity in the market because the Asian session is open and the Japanese yen is one of the dominant currencies in that market session. For example, if we take a look at GBP USD, you wouldn't want to be trading in the Asian session simply because there's a lack of liquidity. And if we take a look further, GBP USD starts moving heavily after the London session actually opens. The London session based currency is of course the Great British Pound, and that's why we see such movement. However, if you do want to trade the Great British Pound for some reason in the Tokyo session, you want to mix and match and trade the GBP Japanese yen because you know that one of the currency pairs is currently active, which in this case would be the Japanese yen, and as we can see, there was some movement in the market. Now, for all Forex beginners, I recommend staying away from mix and matching at the moment, simply because there's larger fees involved in the minor pairs. You want to be sticking with the major pairs, which are US dollar correlated. These are the Euro USD, GBP USD, USD CAD, USD Swiss franc, Japanese yen, NZD USD, and AUD USD. All of these are great for trading. It's going to have a small spread, which is the difference between the asking price and the bidding price. To simply put it, the lower the spread, the lower the cost of your trades, and the higher the spread, the higher the cost of your trades. So if you do live in the Asian session, the best currency pairs would be the USD Japanese yen, Australian dollar, and US dollar. And we can also trade gold US dollar as well. Most of the time, gold is traded around the world, and all sessions have decent liquidity. Of course, as we can see, when we have London and New York open simultaneously, it's called day trading hours, and that's why we see huge movement in the market. But we'll talk about this a little later. Now, if we take a closer look, there's the London session, and its main currency is of course the Great British Pound, the Euro currency, and the Swiss franc as well. You can also get away with gold. So the best currency pairs to trade in the London session would be GBP USD, USD Swiss franc, and Euro US dollars. You're not going to have much problems with liquidity, and you're going to have a great time. Again, in the London session, you can also mix and match. So something like Euro against the Great British Pound will have a lot of liquidity as well. We can see an example. So Asia session over here, barely any movement. London opens up and there's twice as much liquidity, which means you can profit a lot more money. So the last trading session is New York, and there's a lot of volatility in this market simply because there is a crossover of the London and New York session. Between these 2 times, it's called the day trading hours, where there's a lot of activity in the market. This is also the time when there's a lot of news coming out, initial jobless claims, CPI reports, all sorts of things are happening in the markets, and it's going to shake up the Forex market every single time. So generally speaking, the New York session in itself is dominated by the US dollar and the Canadian dollar. However, in day trading hours, you can also be traded all of these currency pairs. So Euro US dollar, Great British Pound US dollar, and USD Swiss franc, simply because between those hours, the Swiss franc is actively traded over here and the US dollar as well, which means both currencies are actively traded. They're fighting each other, sellers versus buyers. Which one will win? That's the question everyone wants to answer. Again, in day trading hours for the New York and London session, you can mix and match. So let's say this is the Euro Swiss franc. Both currencies are actively traded, and that's why we see a lot of liquidity in the market, a lot of movement. If you compare it to the Asian session just over here, there's a very big lack of movement. It's not going to be a great trading experience if you're trading in the Asian session, but you're trading currency pairs that are from the London and New York sessions, right? It makes a huge difference. Plus, the spread difference is much higher, so the trading cost would also be higher. But as I said, sticking with the major pairs is the way to go, especially as a Forex beginner. So now let's quickly talk about Forex correlation. So let's imagine we're trading the GBP US dollar in the London session. Everything is actively traded. However, if you want to be smart traders and double our money, we could potentially be trading another currency pair that reflects a similar pattern. Now, if we take a look at GBP CAD, as we can see, it's plummeting towards the downside and looks very similar. So this is the GBP CAD. This is the GBP US dollar. As we can see, the currency pairs are different, but they're both moving in a similar direction. And you could potentially find trading opportunities in both ways. And if we take a look at this website, I'll leave a link in the description. We can see that the Great British Pound versus the GBP US dollar in the monthly time frame has a fairly strong correlation of 73.2%. This is on the monthly time frame. And the past year, most of the time, it has been moving in a similar price pattern. So you can potentially find different trading opportunities with different currency pairs. However, as I said, as a beginner, probably one or two currency pairs to trade in the beginning is the best way forward, simply because you don't want to get overwhelmed or confused when you're trading. It's never good. So that's it. I would like to invite you guys to my VIP trading signals. We are smashing the market, absolutely dominating them for the past 3 weeks. Link down in the description below. I also have an ebook course that comes with lifetime signals. So if you want to purchase that, learn from myself. I've been trading 10 years, Forex only, no stocks, no crypto. I'm a niche-based trader. I only trade Forex. I understand Forex in and out. And if you're interested in this video, you'll enjoy this one over here simply because it's my own Forex chart analysis. How I do it from beginning to end. Trust me, it's valuable information. If you ever want to become a profitable Forex trader, you'll watch this video.